All right. Yes, indeed, man. We are back. Yes, indeed. We are back. We are back. We are back. You guys, welcome back to another episode of the Winners Die Show. I'm your host, Mac Solomon, aka Project Mac, reporting live on this gloomy Friday morning, man. It's a gloomy Friday morning. The sun's not out, unfortunately. Um, weather isn't that great, but man, we here. We're here. We're here. We are here. I hope everybody's having a good Friday morning. Great start to the weekend. I don't know what your plans are this weekend because football season is over officially. So now y'all gotta watch basketball. Unfortunately, um, and All Star Weekend. I think All Star Weekend is this weekend in LA. So shout out to everybody down there doing their thug thizzle. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we gonna make it do what it do up here and keep the games going. But shout out to everybody tapping in, man. TikTok is going up. TikTok is going up. We're at 2,400 followers on TikTok now, which is great. We're moving in the right direction, trying to get to that 3,000 very soon. So we need like another bombshell. We need another big hit. We just had another semi-viral, not too crazy video go crazy. So that gained us like 100 followers in like a day. So that's always good. But the goal is to 3,000 and then so on and so forth. If I can get to like 5,000 by like, you know, April, May, that'd be great. Hit that $10,000 mark. Then we on to something. But slow motion, man. Slow motion. Continue to go up there, continue to be consistent. And we'll get there eventually. But anyway, man, shout out to everybody that's been tapping in and showing support. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys go ahead and get my free 7-day fat loss guide if you haven't already. If you guys are looking to build muscle, um, you know, uh, figure out how to lose fat, this is the best way to do it. We're giving you guys a free guide, a free 7-day guide. So if you guys want to know how to lose body fat, lose and build muscle, make sure you guys tap in with the 7 free day guide. It's there. The link is in the chat, winnersdietclub.com. So yeah, man, we're going up with this, man. And we also have the fat loss blueprint that is not free. That is also on the Winners Diet Club website. So you guys can go ahead and purchase that. It's a whole digital book on how to build muscle and lose fat forever. So it's a step-by-step guide. It's about 10 chapters, real quick read. So you guys can, read it and get the value that you need from it. All right. So there's that. But anyway, man, we got a good show for you guys today. Shout out to everybody tapping in. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not already. We appreciate you, all the support, even the trolls and the haters. We appreciate you guys too. Even the trolls and the haters. We got love for y'all too. But yeah, man, we got a good show lined up today. Today, man, we keeping it very simple, very simple, very straight to the point, like I always am. Of course, we have our first 2 segments, the Fit Report, reporting on fitness news, things happening in the fitness world. And then we have our second segment, What the Fitness, basically reacting to trendy, viral fitness videos, Winners Diet Focus videos. And then finally, we have the main event, man. Very basic today, very straight to the point, adapt or die. And we're going to break that down in various ways on how that relates to not only your body, but your life, as we always do here. And then, close it out. So make sure you guys stick around towards the 45, 50-minute mark. All right. I think that should be it for the announcements. Without further ado, man, let's get straight to the first article. Let's get to it. Where we at with it, man? Where we at? One second, guys. One second. All right, here we go. Um, all right, new research concludes ultra processed foods should be treated more like cigarettes than real food. A new review examined how ultra processed foods are designed, marketed, and distributed, comparing them directly to the engineering strategies historically used by the tobacco industry. Instead of evaluating these foods purely through a nutrient lens, the authors analyze, excuse me, them through addiction science, focusing on reinforcement, delivery speed, and behavioral conditioning. One important layer the paper highlights is how industrial processing dismantles the natural food matrix, removing fiber, water, and structural barriers that normally slow down digestion and replaces it with rapidly absorbed ingredients that amplify reward signaling. This shift doesn't just increase palatability, it alters how the brain learns from and responds to food cues, strengthening condition responses and making environmental triggers more powerful over time. The author also points out that these products are embedded into daily life through engineered convenience, constant availability, and strategic marketing, creating a landscape where exposure is continuous rather than occasional. Taken together, the research reframes ultra processed foods not simply as unhealthy choices, but as industrial products optimized for repeat consumption. That distinction matters because it shifts the conversation from personal discipline alone to the biological environmental systems shaping behavior. Okay. Um so in basic, for all basic purposes, they're saying that processed foods have the same basically effect that cigarettes do. Therefore, they should be marketed as cigarettes. And I completely agree. I completely agree. Um, but the thing is that these food companies, man, they're strategic in how they market their products. Which is why you're seeing a high supply now of protein products in these food stores. You're seeing protein pancakes. You're seeing protein Pop Tarts. You're seeing protein bread, protein water. You know what I mean? And what people don't know, if they're not, like I always say, read the food labels, read the back, and look at what's in it. You're gonna realize that these products are highly processed and can lead to various types of diseases, the same diseases that cigarette smokers have: lung cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes. Um, and it's the same effects, just a different product. And there's a reason why that these types of products are banned in various different countries. But the US is the only nation to sell these things in large qualities and quantities, you know. And that's where we are, man. So do I think that it should be marketed as, do I think processed food should be marketed like cigarettes? Absolutely. Absolutely, because it gives you the same negative side effects that cigarettes do. But because we slap on different labels on it, fat free, sugar free, zero sugar, low carb, high protein, they can get away with that. They can get away with the negative side that you don't see unless you read the food labels, unless you actually consume these in high quantities. Um, but this is just where we are, man. And like I said, it's not going to change. I don't see um, it getting marketed like a cigarette product. It just, I just think that they're smarter than that. Um, and the bottom line is, man, the bottom line is money. The bottom line is money, and people are gonna eat what they want to eat anyway. People are gonna consume what they want to consume. So it doesn't matter if it's cigarettes, alcohol, beer, whatever, like processed food, chips, and shit like that. People are gonna consume what they want to consume. So it really doesn't matter um what's being put out there. If they want it, they're gonna buy it. So it's really not gonna be a big deal to, you know, market it like something that's bad for you. So that's just my opinion, man. All right, let's move on to the next article here. Shout out to everybody in here. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right, here we go. This excuse me. The Baskin Robbins Oreo milkshake was the unhealthiest shake in history. The Baskin Robbins Oreo milkshake wasn't just a dessert, it was basically a full day's worth of food in a single cup. One large serving packed around 2,600 calories, more than many people eat in an entire day, making it infamous for its sheer excess. On top of that, it contained about 263 grams of sugar, whoa, and roughly 135 grams of fat, including an eye watering amount of saturated fat. That combination is what earned it the reputation as one of the unhealthiest shakes ever sold by a major chain. Wow. Let's take a look at the. Ooh, man, look at the back of this serving. Check this out. Oh, my goodness. So we have one serving size, which is 32 fluid ounces, which is a large serving. The calories are 2,600. Calories from fat is 1,220. Then you have the total fat, which is 135 grams, saturated fat, 59 grams, trans fat, 2.5, cholesterol, 185, sodium, oh my goodness, 1,770 milligrams. You got the carbohydrates, 333 grams. Oh my God. And then this is the biggest part right here, the sugar, bro. Oh my goodness. Look at the sugar in this drink, man. 263 grams of sugar. Oh my God. Oh, but it got protein in it. It got 38 grams of protein. Bro, this is insignificant compared to everything else. Oh my God, man. This is insane, bro. This is literally insane. And people would drink this like it's water. I remember this drink. I vividly remember this drink. And I think there was another one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, um type of drink from Baskin Robbins. I forgot what it was, man, but it was really bad for you. It wasn't as bad as this, but it was bad. But man, yeah, I remember this drink. I don't think I've ever had this drink per se. Maybe I did as a kid, but I mean, as a kid, you can really eat anything and just burn that shit off the next day. But man, imagine eating this as an adult, man. Whew. Oh my God. Yeah. And this is the stuff that people consume on the regular. You know, they're eating a whole day's worth of calories in a single cup. Well, rather drinking. They're drinking a whole day's worth of calories in a single cup. Man, this is insane, bro. It's really crazy out here. Damn. Yeah. This is America for you, man. This is America for you. We consume sugar like like we've never had before. Um it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that this is actually legal to be selling to people in the open market. It's really crazy. They'll ban drugs, they'll ban other stuff, they'll make other things illegal, but this right here should be illegal. There's no reason, there's no way someone can sell this to somebody and it be legal. That is just insane. It's insanity to me. Like, it's insanity to me how somebody can just think they can sell this to somebody and think it's okay. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. But hey, man, It is what it is. You could ban everything else, you know, ban everything else. But when it comes to selling you diabetes in a cup, oh, that's completely normal. That is completely legal. It's completely justified. It's crazy, bro. We have things so backwards out here. Somebody will be put in jail if you were to sell this in like probably Japan or China or somewhere else where they actually care about the citizens' health. You know, where the citizens' health is a priority, this would be banned. This would be illegal to sell to somebody. But out here, man, America, we operate on a whole different scale. Uh it really is amazing to see this in real time, man. But what can you do, man? What can you do? But what can you do? Really? All right, man. Let's move on to the next article. That was insane to me, man. That's really insane. All right, what do we have here? I think we got one more video before or article before we get to it. All right, here we go. So for those of you guys that are, on your weight loss journey, trying to figure out, okay, what should I eat? What should I be eating? What type of meat should I be consuming? What is the best protein? This article here breaks down the best possible protein for you if you're looking to get in better shape and get your macros in. This article says the top 5 highest quality protein sources on the planet. So let's take a look at what you should be eating every single day. So we got one whole egg. Okay. Whole eggs are the reference standard for protein quality because they provide a near perfect essential amino acid profile with no limiting amino acids and extremely high digestibility. I would suggest eggs. Definitely eat a few of them. It's not that high in protein, but it is great for the start to your day. You can probably drink this with a protein shake, 2, 3 eggs, maybe an egg white, protein shake on the side, and maybe like, half a cup, 1 cup of oatmeal to start your day off. This will be a great start to your day if you have some time to make breakfast. So I would suggest an eggs definitely is up there. I wouldn't say it's number 1 though. Number 2 is milk. Milk, honestly, I wouldn't. I mean, sure. It depends on the type of milk that you're getting. Um, so I wouldn't really put milk in my top 5. Uh, I'd put really whey protein ahead of milk just because of how much grams of protein is in 1 scoop of protein. You can really get about 24 grams. I would mix the milk with the protein, just so I can get everything. I know milk has calcium and, um, just a lot of great nutrients for muscle building, digestion, things like that. But I will put whey protein ahead of milk in no particular order. Beef, another great protein source. I know there's going to be a lot of guys. Oh, red meat is bad for you. Where? I've already debunked this many times on this show. Beef is great for you. It's the highest quality protein, as they say here. That is pure protein, great in amino acids. It's going to keep you full a lot longer as well because it is high in fiber as well. So you can eat steak and eggs for breakfast, steak and greens. You really don't even need potatoes with steak, man, because steak is going to fill you up even quicker than actual carbohydrates. That's why you can lose fat a lot easier with steak than anything else because it just keeps you full a lot longer. So definitely beef, red meat, steak, great source of protein. Then we have white fish if you want to get lean. So for people that want to build muscle the lean way, white fish or just fish in general, salmon would be at the top of my list if I could suggest any type of fish or any type of seafood. If you're on a seafood diet, some people like, pescatarian types of diets. So I would suggest salmon as one. I'm not sure about whitefish, but salmon is the best one just for the omega-3 fatty acids, amino acids. It's clean protein, the best that's out there. So I would suggest that. And then, of course, we have obviously chicken. Chicken is the I would put it up there with ground. I would put it up there with beef. I would put it up there with red meat. Um, it's the highest form of protein as far as like the grams that's in uh grams of protein that's in chicken is higher than any other protein source when it comes to fish or beef. It's and a lot cleaner as well as far as less fattening, less cholesterol. So it's a lot purer than beef. Even though beef is great, it does come with some more fat, but it just depends on your goals. So, but chicken definitely is number one. To be honest with you, it's really number one. So, um, yeah, man, I would suggest those types of protein if you're looking to build muscle. Just depends on your goal, man. Mix it up. You don't have to eat the same thing every single day. You can make substitutions, but the consistency has to be there. You know what I mean? So even though some people get burnt out eating the same thing, oh, I don't want to eat chicken and rice every day. I don't want to eat, whatever. Mix it up. Okay, one day you eat chicken and rice, the next day you eat steak and potatoes or steak and sweet potatoes. Like mix it up. Some days you don't have to have carbs. Some days could be chicken and you know carbohydrates. Like you have to be creative, especially when it comes to the meal planning, because that is the hardest part in the whole process of just getting back in shape. Yes, the the workout portion is good. The workout portion is very important. But it's not the biggest factor in getting in shape. It's the nutrition. And the way to win this, the way to beat this is to be as consistent as possible. And the way to be consistent as possible is you have to be as simple as possible. So, meaning you don't have to eat the same thing every day per se. Yes, it's encouraged. I try to do the same thing every day if I can. And I know sometimes, again, you'll get bored, you'll get restless of eating the same thing every day, but that's where you make substitutions. Okay. But it has to be consistent. So if you don't like eating chicken and rice, okay, eat steak and rice. If you get tired of eating steak and rice, okay, eat fish and rice, right? Or eat fish and sweet potatoes, or just eat fish and greens. But the consistency of the nutrition is still the same thing. You're not changing things up. You're not going off your diet plan or nutrition plan. It's still consistent. You're just making substitutions. And that's how you win long term. You can't do that if you're eating chicken and rice for 2 days straight and now you want to go get some pizza. Now you want to go get Chinese food. Now you want to go get Italian food. Like it has to be consistent as much as you can from breakfast all the way to dinner. And if you want to go out and eat on a Friday night, cool, that's fine. But try, even when you're doing that, right? Even when you do go out to eat, try to be consistent in that area as well, as much as you can, right? This is only if you are serious about getting in shape, only if you're serious about losing weight. Even when you go out, you got to be consistent. I know that's not the popular thing to say, and most people don't want to hear that. Oh, I want to enjoy myself. Enjoy yourself. Fine. But don't complain when you don't get results. Just don't complain, you know? So when it comes to winning long term in your fitness journey, man, you have to be consistent as possible. And a big portion of that comes down to your nutrition. It has to. There's no other way around it. You can't beat it. You can't fight it. You have to be as consistent as possible in the nutrition lane. If you can't do that, you're not going to win long term. It's that simple, you guys. You can't out train a bad diet. You can't work out 5 days a week and then eat like shit right afterwards. It doesn't work that way. And if you think it works that way, try it out for 6 weeks and then come back and tell me the type of results that you got from doing that. You guys, you can't beat this, man. You can't beat biology. You can't beat science, right? I know you guys think you're smarter than science and you're smarter than, biology, and you can beat Mother Nature. Guys, science is science. It's not going nowhere. Science is going to be the same thing in 2026 all the way to 2066. It's going to be the same thing. You're not going to beat science, guys. Sorry. So you might as well, if you can't beat them, join them. If you can't beat them, join them, man. So that's just fall in line and do what is necessary to win. That's it. You're not beating this, guys. All right, man. That is it for the fit report. Let's move on to what the fitness. Shout out to everybody in here. If you guys have any fitness questions, please put it in the chat. Anything is encouraged. If you guys, excuse me, if you guys have any fitness questions, please put it in the chat. Happy to answer anything that you guys have questions on before we move on to the next segment. All right. Let's get into the first video. If nobody has any questions here. All right, here we go. We got this guy says that being fat is weak. Let me refresh it. Let's take a look at what this guy has to say.
This may come off a little bit aggressive, but I do wholeheartedly believe this, that being fat and being overweight is a sign of mental weakness, especially as a young man under the age of 30, like myself. Being fat, it just shows that you are not mentally strong enough to put down the fork, to go through a little bit of adversity, to not, satisfy that craving for food that you have. And on top of that, when you do eat, to not be able to resist the temptation to eat junk. It's mental weakness. This may come off a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Self-control in itself is a strength, right? So when you lack self-control, really you're basically saying that you're mentally weak. That's what it says when you have no self-control. So when you look at people that are overweight, when you look at people that are fat, quote unquote, plus size, whatever, that's an example of lack of self-control, which means that you are mentally weak. You don't have control over your actions. You don't have control over your emotions. And we know this because a lot of people that are overweight, they tend to emotionally eat, right? So they eat when they're sad. They eat when they're having a bad day. They eat when they're stressed out, and this contributes over time to them gaining a lot of weight. So when you have your emotions in control, when you have your mind in control and your actions in control, it's very hard to let yourself go. Just like it's not a secret, man. It's not a secret that everybody that's in shape has similar characteristics. It's not a secret. There's a reason for that. Because when you're in shape, that means you have self-control. That means you have control and power over your desires and your cravings. People that are out of shape and overweight, they don't have that because they know they need to go to the gym. Their body is telling them go to the gym, but their mind is saying, nah, just relax. You don't need all that. Just watch the game, crack open a beer, order a pizza. When deep down you know you need to be doing the hard stuff. Deep down you need to be in that damn gym, getting your body together. But their mind overtakes their actions and their emotions. which doesn't allow them to act on what they need, which doesn't allow them to act on what they know they need to get done. And it carries over to every day. It carries over to everyday life. It carries over to other things in their life. You know, being out of shape isn't the only thing that is something that is a problem in your life, right? When you're overweight, when you're unhealthy, so not only does your body reflect that, but there's going to be other areas in your life that reflect that as well. So being overweight doesn't just stop there, right? You not having self-control doesn't just stop at your weight and your body type. That carries over to other things that, you know, the public doesn't see. Because all we can see really is how you look. But I think that you can make an assumption that other areas in your life is not in order. Not everything, but there's other areas in your life that is not in order, because we can see that the one thing that is really the most important thing, which is your health, your body, you don't even really care about that. You don't even really make that a priority. So if your body's not a priority, what other things in your life is not a priority? Right? That is a fair assumption. That is a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. So, yeah, man, I think being fat is a weakness mentally. I definitely think that you just lack self-control, man. You lack the position to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, you know? Um it's a character trait. I think, and anything like that can be developed into a positive, right? Anybody can overcome mental weakness. It just takes you wanting to overcome mental weakness. So, yeah, man, that might not be the most popular thing to say, but unfortunately, man, some people need to hear that because it is true. Being fat is a mental weakness. So you have to, if you want to overcome being mentally weak, you have to overcome your ability to not have self control. All right, let's move on to the next article here. Shout out to everybody tuning in. We appreciate y'all. All right, we have one. I think we got another article here. Where is it at, man? All right, this guy says your life isn't slowing down, so you need to speed up. All right, let's take a look at what this guy has to say.
Life's not going to slow down, man. You just need to speed the fuck up. Think about how many times you've told yourself, oh, when life slows down, when things get a little slower, then I'll prioritize my health. Then I'll prioritize my fitness. I got too much to do right now. Brother, you have full-time responsibilities. You're working 40 to 60 hours a week. You got a wife, you got kids. You have everyone and everything depending and relying on you. Do you really think that your life is going to slow down? I could answer that for you. It's not. Guarantee you it's not. Someday is never going to come. So what you should probably do is develop a system and a program that allows you to operate and succeed even in the most chaotic times possible. Luckily, that is possible. You can do both. I can show you exactly how. There's a full video breaking the whole thing down. If you want it, comment the word breakdown and I'll send it over to you. Your life's not going to slow down, man. You just need to.
Yeah, like I always say, man, systems are going to be the one thing that's going to save you long term. If you don't have a system, then you're basically asking for your life to be chaotic, so you have to have a system. You have to have things in place for that system to work, and the people that complain the most, man, like you'll realize they just don't have the right systems in play. Like you need systems to work. You need things to be in order for things to have structure and routine. You need routine. When you don't have routine, this is how people get depressed and they start thinking about why life is the way it is. It's like I try to have systems in play to the point where everything that I do is in routine. You know what I mean? It works better for me that way, knowing that I know exactly what I'm gonna do at certain points of my day. I know exactly how my day is gonna be. Cause the average person, man, I'll be honest with you, man. This is why the average person is gonna be broke, fat, and a loser for the rest of their life. And that could be offensive to some. I don't give a fuck. But this is why the average person will continue to lose. Because when they don't work, when they're not at their 9 to 5 job, they have nothing to do. They have nowhere to go. If somebody's not telling them, hey, be here at this time, they're just gonna fuck the day off, right? They're gonna waste the whole day. They're gonna waste the whole day being on the phone, watching TV, watching movies, just doing dumb shit. Just look at the average person. When they're not working, they have no structure. Like there's nothing to do. They might go downstairs and watch they waste time. If somebody is not controlling you and planning your day and telling you, hey, do this at this time, like they're just not going to be active. You know, this is why a majority of people are slaves and they don't know it. They're not actively trying to escape the mental slavery that they're in, that they don't know that they're in. Which is why I go so hard in trying to, create things on the side and build things on the side so I don't have to, subjugate myself to that type of control. You know what I mean? And it's just what it is, man. Life is not going to slow down, bro. Life is not going to, you know, um take its time for you. Things are moving as fast as possible. Think about it, bro. We're almost in March. This month is already halfway over. If you haven't started your goals yet, I don't know what to tell you. If you haven't had a system in place yet, if you haven't had your New Year's resolution worked on yet, I don't know what to tell you. Because things are only going to get faster, things are only going to move faster. And if you don't find a way to get things in order, you're just going to get left behind. And again, we're going to tap into that for the main event. But man, life is not a game, man. Life is not slowing down, bro. So you have to have like whatever type of goal you had, whether that have been in December, January, whatever, man. Like now is the time to start. You don't have the luxury of waiting and putting things off anymore. We're only getting older. Time is moving as fast as humanly possible. And that's just the way it is, man. Nothing's slowing down for you. Nothing. Time is not gonna slow down for you. That's not how time works. And you're gonna look back and wish that you started earlier, you know, and that's just what it is. So, man, I wish people would just, have a more of an urgency mindset, bro. Like success loves speed, as they always say, man. Success loves speed. The sooner you can get to it, the sooner you can enjoy it. It's that simple. The sooner you can get to it, the sooner you can enjoy it. The sooner you can get in shape, the sooner you can enjoy the benefits and the perks of being in shape. It's that simple. Why put it off? Why wait until summertime to get in shape? Why wait until your birthday? Why wait until your wedding or a vacation? Like, why can't you just start now? Why can't you just do things now? Fuck solutions. I mean, fuck goals if there's no plan in place for them. It means nothing. So, all right, man, we got one more video here before we hit the main event. Shout out to everybody in here. All right, we got this video here. Kind of alluding to what I was saying. All right, this guy says dudes that are obsessed with sports. Let's take a look.
Sorry, but the weirdest fucking concept to me is people that actually attach their identities to like sports teams and they're like, yeah, dude, we won that game. It's like, no, dude, you just watched a bunch of dudes on a screen, pause, that won a game and made millions of dollars, and you still have to get up tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to clock in. Like, how do you actually invest that much time, effort, and energy in a game? I understand like the big games like Super Bowl or World Cup or whatever, but the everyday ones, like, are you serious? You're keeping up with those people more than you actually care about your own life? And it's like, if you were to put that same effort, energy, and focus that you are into those sports games into a business or a venture that could make you money, you would be so monumentally successful, yet you watch dudes on a screen and watch them make money. I'm sorry, but the weirdest.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, bro. Look, and I love sports. You know, I play sports. I still enjoy watching from time to time. Maybe not the whole game anymore, right? I don't watch the whole game anymore. Whether that be football, basketball is damn near impossible to watch now. That shit is damn near unwatchable. I can barely watch a whole game of basketball because that shit is so boring. It's so predictable. Like, you know exactly what they're gonna do, which is crazy to me. It's not exciting. There's no rivalries. There's no tension between players. Like, basketball is just, it's going to be a dying sport in the next 10 years if they don't fix the problem that they have right now. But that's a whole different conversation. But look, man, caring about sports was good when you were in middle school, high school, right? Even in college, right? Because you don't have much responsibilities at that age, at that time in your life. But as you get older, as you acquire more responsibilities, as you get bills, you probably got kids, a wife, family, things of that nature. These things should be least important to you. These things should be the least important to you because you have other things to worry about, like your health, right? Like, I don't understand how guys can be so obsessed with watching sports all day. You know about LeBron's highlights from 5 years ago. You know how many points he put up on December 23rd, 2006, but you can't tell me how many calories you ate that day. Right? You know every single highlight about LeBron, about Steph Curry, about Kobe, about Tom Brady. You can name every single highlight in their life, but you can't tell me how many calories you ate today. You can't tell me how many grams of protein you ate today. You can't tell me how many times you worked out this week. You can't tell me that. But you can name everything else about somebody else that has no relevance to your life. But the one thing that is important to your life, like your health, you can't tell me anything about it, which is mind-blowing to me. So it shows you where people's priorities are, right? Guys that are super obsessed with sports, just look at them, right? Look at the average guy that is obsessed with American sports. Fat, beer belly, double chin, fat ass neck, right? Hasn't been to a gym in God knows how long. Like, this is the type of people that live and die by sports, but they will never carry that same passion to their health, which is insane to me. It's insanity to me. But welcome to the average American. Welcome to the average American. It's really disturbing behavior, man. It's really disturbing. Yeah, there's not much I can say about that. If they put the same passion into their health, about sports, into their fitness or another business, man, I'm sure life would look a little bit different for them. They wouldn't care about sports as much, but this is people's highlights. This is how they get their excitement out of life, because their main life ain't shit. and it will never be shit because they don't put the extra time in to make it different, to change. And that's the issue. All right, man. Let's get to the main event. Shout out to everybody tapping in. We're at the 45-minute mark. All right, man. Today, man, we're talking about adapt or die. All right, very straightforward, very straight to the point. You guys, one thing that you have to understand is change is not optional. Change is mandatory. You have to evolve throughout life because when you don't evolve, you become weaker. And this is just a survival mechanism that has been relevant for thousands and thousands of years, right? The cavemen had to do it. Animals had to do it. Everybody has to adapt or they die. If businesses don't adapt to AI, guess what? They die. If you yourself don't take your body seriously and you just treat it like it's optional, guess what? You die. If you don't find ways to rebrand yourself, if you're like a creator, content creator, or a personality that's on the internet, and you don't figure out how to adapt with the new times that we're in, guess what? You die. Look at all the radio stations. Look at traditional media. They haven't adapted. They still think it's 2005. So this is a prime example of if you don't adapt to the law of survival, you're going to die physically, mentally, financially, socially. You're going to die. So this episode is basically about the importance of adapting, right? Because nature does not negotiate. There is no negotiating with how science works. There's no negotiating with how laws work. There's no negotiating with how biology works. Is this or that? It's two solutions. This or that, right? As Pablo Escobar used to say, plato or plomo, right? Right? It's either you adapt or die, bro. It's so, biology never fails, man. Biology has never taken an L, right? I know we try to do different things now to beat biology, but it always backfires on us. They're talking about creating infants out of different cells and shit, right? Artificial wombs. Man, them things are going to come to life and kill all of us because you want to play with Mother Nature. So when it comes to your body, man, your body is built to adapt, right? Your body is built for change. So prime examples, you lift heavy, muscle grows. You run, your cardio gets better. Your lungs get better. You eat, but on the flip side, it's going to adapt either positively or negatively. So if you eat poorly, if you eat like shit, guess what? Your body weakens and breaks down. You have more fat storage, which can cause other things down the line. If you stay sedentary, if you don't move your body, it's going to get weaker. It's going to break down. And if you stay inside all day, mentally, you're going to decline. Your mental health is going to take a huge hit, right? So adaptation is going to happen either way, whether it be good or bad. You got to choose which side of the coin you want to be on, because things are going to happen whether you like it or not. That's just how life works, man. So your body is going to adapt to whatever standard you repeatedly give it. So if you give it a healthy standard, your body is going to adapt to that standard. If you give it a poor negative standard, it's going to adapt to a poor negative habit. So it's all about your habits, which it always boils down to your habits, right? Just like I always say, there's always consistency. We all have consistency. Some of us have it in good areas. Some of us have it in bad areas. Whether or not, we're always going to be consistent, just how our body is always going to adapt. So you choose what side of the coin you want to be on. So it's that simple, man. everything you do has to be intentional. If you want to see change long term, it has to be intentional. It has to be intentional to things that will help you grow and get better, right? So your stress, mental health, confidence, your ability to repeatedly do hard things. So you have to train, you have to eat, you have to live your life with intention to grow these areas, because that's the most important thing. So, what's up, Buck Banger? What's up from New Zealand? What's going on, man? Shout out to you. Appreciate the support. Um, so and this is a prime example, right? This is a prime example of not adapting. So take a look at this. This is article that says American millennials are dying at an alarming rate. New public health data shows that American millennials are experiencing rising mortality rates at a place that has alarmed researchers. Factors include chronic stress, substance abuse, mental health challenges, and long-term economic pressure. Unlike previous generations, millennials face higher housing costs, student debt burdens, and delayed access to stable healthcare. Researchers say these overlapping stressors contribute to long-term health decline. Public health officials warned that without targeted intervention, the trend could worsen, reshaping life expectancy projections for an entire generation. Again, another example of not adapting. And yes, man, we're all getting hit with this new world that we're in. Everything is expensive. But if you don't find new ways to make more money, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get priced out. If you don't find a way to control your stress, guess what? Your mental health is going to be on the decline. If you don't find ways to adapt to your body not being strengthened, guess what? Your body's going to break down, which is going to increase your mortality rate. These are all things, bro. Everything right now is not in your favor. It just is what it is, bro. Especially for us millennials, everything is not in our favor right now. Everything is not in our favor. High housing costs, student loan debt, credit card debt, car loans at an all-time high, marriage in the tanker. Like, everything right now is set up against us. And I'm not saying this as a victim. I'm not saying this speaking as a victim or having a victim mindset, but you got to understand, man, everything is against you at the moment. And that's kind of how it's supposed to be, right? Survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. The whole goal of nature is to eliminate the weak. That is the whole purpose of nature. The whole purpose of nature is to eliminate the weak. Right now is nature doing its thing. Right now is the world putting this on us to eliminate us. You're seeing a rise in millennials, mortality rate. You're seeing a rise in people getting sick and mental health and suicide rates. Bro, it's nature doing its thing. It just is what it is. So if you don't adapt to what's going on, guess what? Guess what side of the coin you're going to be on? I can tell you what side of the coin I'm going to be on, because I'm going to bust my ass to the point where I don't have to be worried about these type of things. Right? But you have to make that effort, man. You have to make that effort to adapt and to change. But it's not going to work. It's not going to happen with you sitting on your ass and pouting and being a victim and crying foul and crying about racism. Yes, I understand these things happen. I understand things are set up for other people to win, but that doesn't mean you can't try, right? It doesn't mean you can't try. Look, man, I'm never going to put myself in a victim position. I don't give a fuck what's happening. Racism, classism, whatever the case. You can throw every type of institutional deficiency at me. It doesn't matter, bro. I'm going to find a way to win. It's that simple. And if I don't win, hey, I'm going to go out trying. But what I'm not going to do is just sit on my ass and cry about it, crying foul, crying that nobody is helping me. I can't do it. I'm going to at least try. And that's all I'm asking y'all to do. Try to get in shape. Try to make more money. Try to build up your body. Try to eat better. Just try. Because if it doesn't work, in the end, at least you can live with that. At least you can live with the fact that you busted your ass and you tried. That's all I'm saying. Adapt or die. All right, man. That's it for today. Shout out to everybody in here. We appreciate you guys for tapping in, man. Great show today. You guys follow us on Winners Diet Club, on our all socials, Project Mac on Instagram as well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.